book of Revelation, a book shrouded in mystery and symbolism. Chapters 16 to 18 offer us a glimpse into the final moments of this world as we know it. These chapters are not for the faint of heart. They depict the raw, unfiltered wrath of God poured out on a world consumed by sin. But within these verses of fire and brimstone lies a message of hope, a message for the faithful. Imagine a world on the brink of collapse, the very foundations of society crumbling before your eyes. This is the backdrop of Revelation 16 to 18. It's a stark reminder that our actions have consequences, that the choices we make today will echo into eternity. These chapters are not just predictions of future events, they challenge us to examine our own lives. Join me as we journey into the heart of Revelation 16 to 18. Chapter 16 of Revelation unveils a terrifying spectacle. The outpouring of God's wrath through 7 bowls. Each bowl contains a plague, each plague more devastating than the last. These plagues are not random acts of destruction, they are measured judgments carefully orchestrated by God to bring about his divine justice. The first bowl unleashes agonizing sores upon those who bear the mark of the beast, a stark reminder that allegiance to evil comes at a terrible price. Then comes the second bowl, turning the seas into blood. Marine life perishes and the stench of death fills the air. The third and fourth bowls strike the rivers and the sun, respectively. Fresh water turns bitter, scorching heat torments humanity. The fifth bowl plunges the world into darkness. The throne of the beast is shrouded in shadows, symbolizing the impending fall of evil. The sixth bowl dries up the Euphrates River, preparing the way for the kings of the east to gather for the final battle. This signifies the global nature of the coming conflict. Finally, the seventh bowl unleashes a cataclysmic earthquake. This is the culmination of God's wrath. Chapter 17 of Revelation introduces us to 2 enigmatic figures, a woman dressed in scarlet and a beast with 7 heads and 10 horns. This is not a literal woman or beast, they are symbols, representations of spiritual forces at work in the world. The woman, often interpreted as Babylon, represents the epitome of human sin and corruption. She is adorned with gold and jewels, a symbol of her insatiable greed and materialism. She sits atop the beast, signifying her control over worldly powers. The beast represents the combined forces of evil that have opposed God throughout history. The 7 heads represent 7 empires, while the 10 horns symbolize 10 kings who will ultimately turn on the woman and destroy her. The woman, with all her allure and promises of pleasure, ultimately leads to destruction. The relationship between the woman and the beast is complex. They are both allies and enemies, bound together by a shared desire for power. The beast will eventually turn on the woman and consume her. Chapter 18 of Revelation depicts the dramatic fall of Babylon. This once great city, a symbol of wealth, power, and luxury, is brought to its knees by the very forces it sought to control. The judgment is swift and merciless. A mighty angel descends from heaven, his radiance illuminating the earth. With a voice that shakes the very foundations of the world, he declares Babylon's fate. Her sins, piled high as mountains, have reached the heavens, and her time of reckoning has come. Fire consumes the city, its flames leaping high into the night sky. The smoke from her burning rises like a funeral pyre, a testament to the fleeting nature of worldly glory. The merchants of the earth, those who profited from her wickedness, weep and wail at her demise. Babylon's fall is not just a physical event, it's a spiritual one. It represents the ultimate triumph of good over evil, of righteousness over wickedness. It's a reminder that no empire, no matter how vast or powerful, can withstand the judgment of God. Section 5. The weeping of kings' power fades before judgment. The fall of Babylon in Revelation chapter 18 is not a silent affair. It's a cataclysmic event that reverberates throughout the world, leaving no one untouched by its impact. Even the kings of the earth, those who once reveled in her splendor and benefited from her power, are brought low by her demise. These kings, accustomed to wielding immense power and influence, are reduced to trembling spectators as they witness the city's destruction. They stand at a distance, afraid to approach the inferno that was once the object of their desire. Their hearts are filled with terror, not for the city itself, but for their own fate. They mourn the loss of Babylon's splendor, the luxury and the decadence that once defined their existence. Their words are a testament to the fleeting nature of worldly power and the swiftness of God's justice. The king's reaction to Babylon's fall serves as a stark reminder that even the most powerful individuals are ultimately powerless before the judgment of God. Section 6. Merchants in mourning. When riches turn to dust. The fall of Babylon, in Revelation chapter 18, sends shockwaves through the global economy. The merchants of the earth, those who had amassed vast fortunes through trade with the city, are thrown into disarray. Their grief is palpable, their cries of despair echoing the lamentations of the kings. These merchants, once symbols of wealth and prosperity, are now confronted with the emptiness of their pursuits. Their gold and silver, once objects of pride and security, are now worthless. They stand on the shores, watching as the smoke rises from the city that was once the source of their wealth. The fruit you longed for is gone from you. The text reads, all your luxury and splendor are lost to you, never to be found again. Their world, built on material possessions and the relentless pursuit of profit, has crumbled before their very eyes. The merchant's lament serves as a powerful reminder of the dangers of greed and materialism. In the face of God's judgment, all material possessions fade into insignificance. Section 7. Sailors Adrift, the collapse of worldly systems. The demise of Babylon in Revelation 18 doesn't just impact the elite and the wealthy. Its reach extends to every corner of the globe, disrupting the lives of even the most ordinary individuals. The sailors, those who traverse the seas, connecting nations through trade and commerce, are left reeling from the city's sudden collapse. These sailors, accustomed to the predictability of the seas, now face an uncertain future. The once bustling ports are silent. The ships that once carried goods to and from Babylon now sit idle. Their livelihood, dependent on the city's economic engine, has vanished overnight. The sailors' lament underscores the interconnectedness of the world. The fall of one nation, particularly a nation as influential as Babylon, sends ripples throughout the entire global system. The Section 8, a call to come out, separating from the doomed city. Amidst the chaos and destruction of Babylon's fall in Revelation 18, a message of hope emerges. A voice from heaven cries out, "Come out of her, my people, so that you will not share in her sins, so that you will not receive any of her plagues." This is a call to separation, a plea for God's people to distance themselves from the corruption and wickedness that permeates the world. This call is not about physical separation, but spiritual separation. It's about aligning oneself with God's righteousness and rejecting the allure of sin. It's about choosing faith over fear, truth over deception, and holiness over compromise. For her sins are piled up to heaven, and God has remembered her crimes, the text warns. Those who choose to remain entangled in Babylon's web of wickedness will ultimately share in her judgment. By separating themselves from the world's corruption, they align themselves with God's kingdom and inherit the promise of eternal life. Section 9. God's justice prevails, a universal truth. The fall of Babylon in Revelation 18 is a testament to the unwavering justice of God. It underscores the truth that wickedness, no matter how deeply entrenched or seemingly invincible, will not go unpunished. This is not a message of vengeance, but a reaffirmation of God's holiness and his commitment to righteousness. Throughout history, civilizations have risen and fallen, empires have expanded and crumbled, but God's justice has remained constant. Babylon, with all its might and splendor, is no exception. Its demise serves as a sobering reminder that no one is above the law of God. Give back to her as she has given. Pay her back double for what she has done, the text declares. Pour into her cup twice as much as she poured out. This verse emphasizes the principle of divine retribution. The punishment fits the crime, and Babylon reaps what it has sown. His desire is not to punish, but to redeem. Section 10. Standing firm in faith, a beacon in turbulent times. The events depicted in Revelation 16 through 18 can feel overwhelming. The images of judgment, destruction, and despair paint a bleak picture of the world's future. However, amidst the chaos and uncertainty, a message of hope emerges. A message directed at believers, urging them to stand firm in their faith, even in the face of adversity. The world may crumble, empires may fall, but God's promises remain unshakable. He is our refuge and strength, a very present help in trouble. In the midst of the storm, we can find peace and security in him. This is not a time for fear or despair, but a time for courage and resolve. We are called to be lights in the darkness, beacons of hope in a world consumed by fear. We are to live lives characterized by love, integrity, and compassion, reflecting God's character to a lost and dying world. Let us stand firm in our faith, knowing that our labor for the Lord is never in vain.